All right, great. So this week's Reach Room, we're going to be talking about market updates. There's a huge gap right now with people doing market updates completely wrong, just listing off generic numbers rather than really going into what the clients are truly asking and what they care about. So we're going to talk about positioning yourself correctly to actually attract new clients when you're talking about your market updates. So where most people fail with their market updates is actually quite simple. Every week, thousands of agents are just posting up statistics. They're talking about inventory, they're talking about prices. They're not actually talking about what people care about. They're talking about numbers. Consumers just keep scrolling. Nobody interprets any of the data and no conversations get sparked. Here's a hard reality. People don't care about the numbers. They care how it affects them. So when you're talking about inventory rising 10% or the median price dropping 15%, they don't really care because it doesn't connect to them personally. They care, where can they negotiate harder? Should they wait? Is this neighborhood a good investment? What's going on? So you want to go ahead and refrain from doing that, flip it into something like this. Stop reporting, start interpreting. Inventory is up 10% Boca Raton compared to last year. Buyers now have serious leverage in West Boca under 900,000, especially neighborhoods that there were bidding wars in 6 months ago. That's the kind of conversation starter that actually sparks people up in their local neighborhoods rather than just sitting there and saying, hey, inventory is up 10%, you can negotiate. How can you negotiate? Why? What's going on? So here's what your consumers actually care about. If you want people to engage in your real estate content, this is what you need to say. Where do I have leverage? What markets are opportunities for individuals right now? Doesn't have to be the grand scheme. Is there a condo space? Is there a single family space? Is there an investment space? Talk about that. Where will I overpay? Having negative conversations is not a bad thing. You could use negative conversations to spark up more interest, talking about areas that don't have opportunity right now and explaining why. Where is development happening? What areas are improving, going up, retail, new residential? What's going on to spark up interest there locally? Talk about the areas that are still having bidding wars. Talk about the areas that it's harder to get a good deal. It's harder to get a good price. That sparks up conversation too. And leading conversations. What should you do right now? If I was a buyer, I would do this. If I was a seller, if I was an investor, those conversations. Now I want to bring you some real world examples of what I'm talking about. Condo inventory is rising. Older buildings with reserve problems and new requirements are getting pressed right now. Waterfront Boca is holding. Construction out west is going up and up. West Palm has new buildings going up with a huge demand for walkability. And then the Northeast migration. You got cash heavy buyers coming from the Northeast looking for good school zones here in South Florida. So you're going to take that pool of topics and you're going to loop it into this. Where's opportunity? Which markets or neighborhoods give either a buyer or a seller edge right now? Where is risk? Where should people be cautious or adjust their expectations? What development is changing things? What's being built or planned that's going to shift desirability? And what decisions should somebody consider? What's going on in the market right now that you could provide insider value to educate consumers? One eye-grabbing format that I'm seeing right now working is a this or that format, and I'll explain what I mean by that.
Naples or Tampa?
Of course, Tampa.
Tampa or Jacksonville?
It's a good one. Tampa still.
Comparing creates engagement. So viral format, you can go more direct. What cities have the most opportunity for buyers? Boca, Delray, Boynton, Lake Worth, something like that. Condo market, what areas are crushed? Something like that. Entertaining, engaging. Here's a perfect example. Is it a better time to buy in Boca or to buy in Delray? Delray has new construction, lifestyle pull, competitive market under 900,000, and a younger buyer demographic. Boca has better schools, more waterfront, buyer leverage emerging in mid-tier properties, and established neighborhoods. Great conversation starter. Now your action plan to actually make this work this week. You're going to pick 2 markets. You're going to pick a niche in there. You're going to identify a risk. You're going to identify a development shift. And then you're going to make videos talking about that and post it. It's that simple. Start talking about the neighborhoods that you work. Get more clients by simply educating and providing value. I have an entire series called The Reach Room talking about what you need to do to build social media. Go ahead, watch our previous videos. Let us know how you like this new editing style. And if you want to join us live, we're live every Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and comment Reach Room and I'll get you an invite. We'll see you next week.